initiative and set aside 10% of the units for homeless New Yorkers. Pieces of legislation sponsored by Cultural Affairs Committee to designate November 15th as ODB Day. In the city of his legacy as co-founder of the Wu-Tang Clan and a legendary MC. Introduction 3 MC. Introduction 3 by Majority Leader Keith Powers would provide that bank fees and credit card processing fees paid by a campaign for contributions received by credit card would not count against the campaign's campaign finance board expenditure limit. While this bill is effective immediately, it would apply to expenditures made before the effective date that are in furtherance of an election occurring after the most recent general is up to the podium, not to talk about ODB, but to talk about his legislation.
I mean, I wanted to talk about ODB, who doesn't? But thank you, Speaker. This is a pretty straightforward one. We, after every election cycle, take a look at the recent elections and the campaign finance law and try to make some reasonable adjustments to it to make sure it's serving its purpose. And in the era, in 2023 and beyond, in the era of credit card contributions and bank fees and where we are in terms of fundraising, a lot of the complaints we've heard often is that when you get a set cap on how much you can spend, your money from the CFB, the bank charges you a wire fee and a bank fee just for that, and that gets counted against your cap for receiving that money. So it's a very small but sensible adjustment we're trying to make sure that when folks get that cap, they actually can spend that cap. It's not taken away by the CFB or bank transactions or monthly deposit fees or anything like that. That will help, I think, uphold the spirit of it. And of course, it starts today moving forward. So I won't even apply to me, and I'm out of here. So for you guys, congratulations. But I think we'll be, help to uphold what the campaign finance law has meant, which is to create a reasonable and sensible cap for folks. So thank you to the Speaker for bringing it up for a vote today, and hope all my colleagues will support it. Thanks.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Introduction 564A, sponsored by Councilmember Tiffany Caban, would require the Department for the Aging to establish a commission focused on identifying ways to improve the quality of life for older adults who identify as LGBTQIA+ or any other diverse sexual orientation or gender identity. The Commission's goals are to identify challenges, share best practices, and develop expert recommendations for LGBTQIA+ older adults. The Commission would be required to submit 2 reports. The first report no later than 1 year after the appointment of all Commission members, and an additional report no later than 2 years after submission of the first report. I invite Councilmember Caban to discuss her bill.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Our city has always been a leader in the fight for dignity and freedom for queer people. And after all, the modern queer liberation movement was born with a riot on Christopher Street. And sadly, too many from the Stonewall generation are no longer with us. To honor them, the movement for queer liberation must support our elders before they become our ancestors. Queer elders deserve to live and grow with dignity, with comfort, with joy and family, and with love, but with something else as well, stewardship of our culture. And we deserve to be in rich community with our elders so that they're able to pass along their stories and teachings to help us build a society where we are all free to be who we are. Earlier this year, my LGBTQIA+ caucus co-chair, Councilmember Crystal Hudson, and I released the Marsha and Sylvia Plan in honor of Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera. In it, we called for a commission within the Department